Well, good evening, guys. Welcome to Sphons CCW Live Show. Brought to you by, of course, Sphons CCW. And my phone's going to ring immediately. Just always figures, just at the wrong time. What do we got for you tonight? Well, got a bunch of stuff. We'd had a bunch of stuff happening with things around the viewing area. I'm going to check and make sure that we're
not sure if we're live on Facebook yet.
Actually live here. Hold on a second, guys. If I can get there.
Oh, their timing is way
Yeah.
behind.
There it goes.
All right. We are back. Okay. So, anyway, anybody got any problems hearing or seeing us on Facebook? Let us know. I do believe we're good to go on YouTube. Looks like we are. And
Yeah, I'm coming up.
All right, cool. What do we got? Class schedule.
August is done.
Yeah, August is pretty much done in full except for fundamentals. We got one possibly we could stuff 2 spots in the 8.8 pistol fundamentals. So if you want to really work on your skills, then that's where you need to go with it.
250 rounds of ammo for that one.
Yeah. Defensive pistol, 912 and 913. If you want to get in on that, that's a 2-day. You need 500 rounds of ammo. A couple magazines, a good holster, center fire handgun. We're not going to do 22s in that one. Not that we don't like 22s. It's that we will destroy your 22 in 2 days. Concealed carry, 9.6, 920, and 927 are the next 3 that have slots in them. 829 and 30, we got pistol instructor. So if you're looking to teach your own concealed carry classes, do some instructing, then you're going to have to get in on that class. What do we got that up for? $225?
Yeah.
2 days. It is a 24-hour class, so it is 2 12-hour days. Basic rifle and carbine is 10.3, and rifle instructor is 10.4. We kicked around doing a carbine class here shortly. We may have that up on the schedule. Once again, keep an eye on the schedule. Things always change, and we may have some impromptu stuff coming up. So if you're looking for something, just keep an eye on the schedule on our Facebook page or our website. And if you see something you want to get in, don't wait. Get in on it as much as you can.
Yeah, we have people come in all the time and ask about classes, and we're telling them if you're not signed up within 2 days, you're not going to be there.
Yeah. Yeah, classes. The end of August, class filled in a day and a half.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Yeah. Get in there if you want to. If you're thinking about it, get in there. What do we got for range tip? Nate brought this one up. It's pretty good. Set a routine. You're going to be more efficient. You're going to use less ammo, and set your routine so that you have some specific goals in mind. We're always preaching at people to not practice what they like, what they're good at, but practice what you're not so good at. And that's how you improve. Everybody has got to work on the things that they're having trouble with. And just remember, practice makes permanent, not perfect. Perfect practice makes perfect application. Not that everybody's perfect, but we got to kind of go at it that way. If you got a routine, you got an idea where you're going with it. Maybe working some dry stuff in your range protocol, malfunction drills.
Yeah, you can, kind of sit down,
A lot of stuff you can work into it.
You know, it's not a bad idea. Maybe, maybe come up with a notebook, jot down your ideas, what worked, what didn't, stuff like that. Kind of like almost like a training log. If you go to training classes, I got just one of them, just a kind of a standard composition notebook. And, every time I go to a training class or something, I take that one book. I take notes in it. I draw draw pictures if there's range diagrams or anything like that. And, I can kind of jot down things of, well, okay, I'd like to work on this. I want to work on this. I'm not real good at that. I need to do a little better on that. And you can, kind of set up like ranged. Okay, day one. This is what I'm going to work on, and I'm going to, and like you said, you build some efficiency in your range time. So you're not just going out there on Saturday afternoon, and next thing you know, you run through a whole. Your ammo can's empty, and you're going, oh man, especially in times like now where, there's such a big shortage on ammo, there's still so many different things you can do. And you can do between breaking it up with some dry practice and a little bit of live fire, you can get a lot of real good work done in a couple hours at the range and not burn through a huge stash of ammo. Burn through a little bit, keep up on your skills, and keep moving forward.
That's one thing we do in a lot of our classes is we're looking more for improvement, grasping of concepts,
setting goals.
Yeah, setting goals, not just slinging a lot of lead downrange. There's a lot of guys, they just sling a lot of lead downrange, and they never really get to where they want to get because they haven't gone into it with a specific goal in mind. Like, I need to work on this.
Yeah, your training should be objective based, and just like a class anyway. And if you're not meeting your objectives, slinging lead downrange, you need to back up and do something different. So.
Yeah. Our carry tip for tonight: travel as it pertains to stuff like Castle Doctrine, bad locations, groups of people, route planning. We got a couple videos here of some protest stuff, which is still going on. And, we want to really be aware of that kind of stuff. We've had a lot of things happen over these last couple weeks that pretty much too much to decompress here in an hour. But, you really need to understand how Castle Doctrine works and where it protects you and where it does not. The Castle Doctrine essentially is your house and your car, but it stops at the outside of that.
Right. If you get out of that car, you just sacrifice your Castle Doctrine.
The other thing is you still have to be in fear of great bodily harm or death. So Castle Doctrine isn't an automatic switch to use deadly force on somebody. Bad locations. Everybody knows bad locations, and there's times we have to go in to bad locations, but we're increasing the probability of risk when we're in a place that
especially the time of day also plays into that too,
certainly.
And we've said it before, planning.
Yeah.
You need to plan, what you're going to do. And I don't know, I'm going to steal this from our driving system at work. Leave yourself an out.
Yeah.
Whether it comes to, just, traffic situations, leave that plenty of room, you're in traffic, leave that plenty of room enough that I can get my vehicle out of here if I have to, hop the curb and wheel away.
Somebody asked me last weekend when we were down to Father and Sons, or was that 2 weekends ago now? Last weekend. Anyway, they asked me, they said, okay, so they ran across this news article situation. They were in a drive-through, and there was people coming up the drive-through on either side of the cars robbing people. That was my answer. Don't pull so close to the car in front of you, you can't get out of there.
Right.
You got to plan ahead.
Yep.
Yeah. Hang out at the loudspeaker for an extra second. Let the person move up.
Yeah.
If you can, if it's one of them doubles, if you're the only one in there, go in, go on the inside one. If you're the only one in there, you go on the inside one. You should have plenty enough room to, pull forward, back out. But if there's somebody in there, go to the outside one. That way you only got one direction where you got something in the way. You can just cut it right and stand on it.
Yeah.
And
Exactly.
Keeping your head, you gotta, and plan your route, and
Yeah, and we
pay attention to what's going on that route.
And nothing, it doesn't mean you have to sit down and make a detailed map of where you're going or anything. You just think about it in your head. Well, if I go here, I know that's a bad area, but I could go this way. It'll take a little longer, but might stay out of the
even
area.
as far as
might be trouble.
Route planning, with so much stuff going on, everybody gets in that day to day of, okay, this is how I go to work, I go home, I go to work, I go home, and they take that same route.
Yeah.
Well, what's a different route home or to work?
Yeah.
Especially if you didn't grow up in that area, or you just moved to that area, or you're in a different area. You may have to break out the old school map and look, okay, what are 2 or 3 different routes? If something happens on my one route, okay, I know that, well, if something happens along this route, I can take the next right, left, whatever, and go this far down, make another turn, and go around the whole thing, and not be essentially a sitting duck.
Yeah, exactly. Well, look at how many people wait until the last second when they're on even a 4-lane or a 3-lane or whatever, and get caught in a traffic jam
tonight,
and have to sit there for hours on there and wait for these people to move in front of them.
Yeah.
If you pay attention to traffic patterns and get off where the major traffic is and the major people are, you'll be
just avoid it.
Just avoid it altogether.
Avoid it. Groups of people, we're in this social distance era, I guess. We've been social distancing for a long time, not because of any disease, but generally leave yourself once again and out, time and distance. If there's a big group of people, loud, boisterous, that's definitely something to avoid. Contrary to the video we're going to show you here in a few minutes. And just be aware of people's mannerisms. There's a lot of different things that you can become in tune with on whether or not somebody's thinking about doing something stupid. Words, can always be that indicator, but, furtive movements, reaching down, stretching, getting closer, blading their strong side away from you, is generally a really good tip that they're going to take a swipe at you. So
trying to get around your backside.
Yeah, blading away from you. Everybody, the kind of people they'll kind of look and shift around and look again and shift around, and you see them kind of maybe looking around.
Yeah, they're fidgety.
They're not standing still. Like looking around. Okay, is anybody watching me? Okay, move over here. And remember most bad guys are they're ambush predators.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And they're looking for something that is exactly what we're talking about here. Don't let yourself be the soft target. That's the big thing.
Sure. And
especially when you're out in public, don't get don't get engrossed in your in your cell phone or this or that or
right.
Just
once the group is around, any group is around you, it's too late.
Certainly. And which is cool because I'm going to show you guys a video, and it's actually something that I took part in, and some of you may have watched this already, but I kind of want to explain a lot of things that you can't see behind the video camera. And I'm going to try and get this up. So, context to what's going on here. This is Faircrest Park. I'm videotaping the Black Lives Matter protest or march that they're having down there. To my left is most of the Black Lives Matter protesters. And you can see this one lady here, and then this one guy here, he's carrying an AK-47. The video is up on our Facebook page if you want to go watch the thing. And it's an hour and a half long. I'd already talked to this guy. He was asking me about a holster.
For AK?
No, for a Ruger. This guy here, he had came into the park and revved the engine on a motorcycle and then went over, and he's going to park in between here and these trees. Now, mind you, I'd just been over there and talked to some people over there, and these cars had pulled in. So nobody over there really was part of a protest or counter-protest or anything like that. So I'd been told that there was going to be a counter-protest taking place, and I wanted to see who it was. Now, mind you, I am in full body armor. I am armed heavily. I have a camera hanging off the front of my chest. So I kind of stick out a little bit. The folks I had talked to across that wood line there were playing Frisbee Golf, which I had never heard of before. So I guess they have a Frisbee Golf course set up at this
point. What in Malvern?
Yeah. I learned something that day, so I didn't know.
So baskets in a tree, and you chuck these they're more like flat disc frisbees than an actual frisbee. You chuck them you throw them at the tree and try and get them in the basket.
Yeah, I mean, I thought, okay, that's pretty cool. I never heard of it before. So
I'm trouble playing it.
Are you kidding me? You know it always figures.
We're being censored.
Yeah, you got it.
I would bet we are being censored.
All right, guys, we're at the BLM protest at the Minerva.
At 24.
Interesting. So, well, looks like maybe we got a counter protest.
Here we go.
Going on over there.
We're gonna head over there.
Let's walk over and find out. Walk over and find out.
Now, mind you, I had already been over there 3-4 minutes prior to that.
My camera angle sucks. I'm sorry. Trying to keep this.
Now, mind you, at this point in time, I'm probably 45, 50 feet from these guys.
Hey, guys, are you part of the counter protest?
So that's your first indication. I mean, that's interesting. That's probably not the right way to start off somebody who just walked over and, asked you a question.
My name's Jason. I'm from Sphons CCW.
You're from what?
Sphons CCW in Minerva.
What are you doing, man? What's that? What's all this?
I'm filming.
What's that? What are you doing? I'm in a public park. I'm filming.
There's no expectation of privacy in public.
In public. And he took a couple swipes at the camera and then decided, nah, we're not going to do that.
What are you carrying for? Alphas? What?
Huh?
A minute. Why are you carrying? Plan on using that?
Why are you carrying? Do you plan on using that? At this point in time, I think the guy probably understood. And my wife said I intimidated him. I don't know. I wasn't trying to intimidate him. Now, mind you, this guy is across a motorcycle and about 17 to 18 feet from me. My attention is this guy because I want you guys to notice really quickly here and I went way too far back. As I walked up, he immediately tried to go to my blind side. So
I'm filming.
my attention is on
Why are you carrying?
this guy
Plan on
here,
using that?
right?
Only if I have
The other
to.
guy's across the motorcycle.
Well,
He can't
We're
really
pro
do
or
anything.
anti. We're just here. To,
well, that's pretty much the same thing I am.
so we're just here to
Right.
see what's going on, and
I'm just here to talk to people and get their opinions, and
I'm in the
Stuff like that.
military.
And
I'm
I
not-
want you to notice this guy's posture. The guy in the blue shirt, his posture, right? He's standing there, arms down, just giving me a death stare. So if you noticed, I took a step back and they came together. The guy in that peachish shirt ended up being a pretty okay dude. The guy in the blue shirt decided he was going to leave a little later, but this is classic evidence that somebody is wanting to pick a fight. The problem in this particular situation is that the guy in the peach shirt does not want to pick a fight. The guy in the blue shirt seems like he really wants to pick a fight, but he's literally outgunned. And he's just being abrasive. So what I want to point out to you as we're going through this is I'm turned this direction, and the guy in the blue shirt is not in the camera view. I'm still looking at him. I'm still a good 12 or 13 feet away from him. And a guy pulls up behind me on another motorcycle.
Oh, you came to me
Very
armed, man.
quickly.
Looks to me like you're looking for
Right?
a fight.
no.
Now,
Okay.
literally, this guy says it looks like you're looking for a fight. And as you can see, the camera turns because I hear the guy coming up behind
How you
me.
doing, Scott? Nice to meet you.
Right?
You know? Right?
Guy in peach
You
wants
came
to
me
shake
armed, looks like
hands.
you're looking for a fight.
No, sir, I'm not.
Once
looking for a fight.
again,
Well, you came armed, you're looking for a fight.
3 times. 3 times he challenges, you're looking for a fight. I was not looking for a fight. The other thing I want you to notice is his left hand. Where's he put it? In his waistband.
Yeah.
So immediately you have to be looking for the hands are what hurts you,
Mm-hmm.
right? So as you can see now, the camera angle is in front of me, so my attention is to him. I've just shook the guy's hand in the peach shirt. He's essentially backed off a little bit. Not quite as high on the threat level in my mind. And I'll remember, there's a guy parked behind me on a motorcycle, so I can't just back up. And I'm trying to keep an eye on now 3 people.
No, I don't.
That's where
That's
you
not
come.
true.
That's where you came in here, right?
Sir, generally I'm armed 100% of the time. So,
Me too. You military? You ever
no,
been
sir.
military?
No, sir.
You're in trouble, buddy. There's more shit going on.
Once again, you're in trouble. So at this point in time, we're looking for a way out of this essential trap that they have me in, and I'm gonna exit to the uphill side here very shortly. As this guy, now mind you, I'm still keeping my attention on this guy, right? His buddy's trying to.
I am not here causing shit. If you,
His buddy's
all
trying
you
to
gotta
calm
do
him
is go
down.
check me out,
Right?
and you will 100%
And
understand.
we'll turn the volume down here a little
I'm not
bit.
that guy.
The other thing, what I want you to notice is the other guy abandoned his buddy and went over and talked to the dude on the other motorcycle. Okay, here we go. Now we're moving away from the situation.
Well, that didn't go so well.
Had I been able to do that sooner, I would have done that sooner. But a guy rolled up behind me on a motorcycle and I couldn't back up. my immediate attention, I checked the guy out behind me. He was just sitting on a motorcycle with a dumbfounded look on his face, right? So he went down on the priority list. Guy in the blue shirt is now highest on the priority list. Guy in the peach shirt is milling around. Moving to my left. As you notice, guy in the blue shirt is on my right side, so I am moving slowly between the two motorcycles, trying to back out of this situation.
Let's see if we can talk to these folks.
So as we move forward here,
I have no idea.
I'm keeping these guys in my view, right? So I'm making sure that they're staying, right? So eventually, a couple of these guys do come over and talk to me, and I kind of talk to them a little bit. I start moving over toward the trees. I use the truck for cover as I moved out of it. You can see him coming over. He wants to talk. Buddy's going to come over and talk. I'm going to keep them on my right side. We're going to keep the guy who was abrasive in my view, right? Had I had a car, probably could have gotten in the car and got out of Dodge. The whole moral of the story is you need to trust your gut, and you need to understand that actions like this are the beginning of trouble, right? I didn't tell the guy in the blue shirt what I wanted to tell him. I really wanted to tell him to piss off. I can film there, and I can carry my handgun if I want to, and it's not his,
He's just a numbnuts.
And he was a numbnuts. His two friends turned out to be okay, and they followed us around during the march. But you just have to understand that that's not. You need to work on your de-escalation and use of force tactics and your escalation of force tactics when you're confronted with a situation like that. Honestly, I think if I had just turned my back on him and walked away, he probably would have followed me. That was the idea that I got. I'm not sure. So I wanted to keep the motorcycle between me and him, because his arms weren't long enough to reach over the motorcycle and get a hold of me. And I could have used the motorcycle as a form of cover, because I don't know whether he's got a gun or not, but it was enough cover to keep him from coming directly into arm's reach with me.
Yeah.
And then as you guys can see plainly, a friend then flanked so that there was more than one person I had to deal with, not in the same general vicinity. That's human nature. That's not a pre-planned thing, right? That is just the way that we as humans and as predators do things. So it's the way it is. De-escalate. If you can't de-escalate, retreat. If you can't retreat, start on your escalation of force tactics, right? But stuff like this, somebody's swearing at you. This guy was not happy I was there. I think he had me pegged as a protester. I wasn't a protester. I was just filming a podcast, and I was just dressed in a manner that said, I'm not going to take anybody's crap. Later on in the day, I interviewed a couple protesters. They didn't act like that. So, take this stuff for what it's worth. We can all learn from it. You're going to run into these people, and you're going to have to deal with them the best you can. So, de-escalation of force, or de-escalation tactics, and then switch to escalation of force tactics. Don't cause yourself a problem and escalate the situation. Had I told him what I was thinking, that would have escalated the situation, right? If I insulted him or his buddies or his manhood or something like that, it would have escalated the situation. He didn't understand that there was a bunch of people on top of the hill behind me looking out, and other people in the area. So it wasn't a situation where I was in serious danger. The opposing party thought that he was a danger to me, but he really wasn't. There's mitigating circumstances behind that made us realize that, or made him and his friends realize that this isn't the right way to go about things. So hopefully everybody learned something from that. But the guy was just a putz.
Yeah, I mean, and there's some people are just absolute morons.
Yeah, I don't know. I wasn't the only one that was armed there, so what a putz. Going right along that scenario, I don't know if everybody's heard about this guy, Garrett Foster. He was a protester who was shot by an armed citizen in a vehicle with what now appears, well, he had an AK-47, and it now appears that he actually pointed the AK at the, it was an active duty Army sergeant who was doing a ride share part-time, and did not know that they were there, and turned into the backside and was actually trying to get out of there when the protesters essentially jumped on his vehicle. And allegedly this young man pointed the rifle at him, and we can see him here, and obviously the position of his arm and the shadow in the super grainy photograph really kind of corroborates that he did have something pointed at him, at the fella in the car. So, and as you can see, the car's down here, you can see it. There's a ton of people around that. What I wanted to also point out is the protest wasn't supposed to be on that street, and he was doing a ride share, had to drop somebody off around the corner, and then came around the corner and encountered them, and did not purposely seek them out.
Right.
Also, what's going around in the media is that he fired shots and then drove through and was trying to escape. He did not do that. He drove one block, locked his vehicle, and then called 911 and is cooperating with the police.
That was what I saw the other day, was that, yeah, he drove. Yeah, he did what he had to do. He drove out of the danger area,
Mm-hmm.
and then made his phone call. You know.
It also looks like there's another protester who fired shots at the car
Yes.
while he was driving away and hit bystanders.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So developing mess here. Whether or not we're going to get the entire thing, I don't know. But when this first came out, it was spun like this fella drove into the protesters, opened fire, and then drove through.
It's still being spun like that.
Yeah, depending upon which media you listen to.
Yeah. So, time will tell, I guess, on this particular situation. There's a lot of info. People are saying there's actually some videos that maybe they got that the police have. So time will tell. We'll keep an eye on it best we can. A lot of times this kind of stuff fades out of the public purview, and you never really get a resolution on that. And then moving right along with our mess out west. Police tell business owners in Seattle, you're on your own. I mean, was it necessary for the police to tell business owners? We've known this for years. You cannot rely on police to protect you. This is why we have concealed carry laws.
Just a group of people weren't.
Yeah, they were
Well, they were
provoked
a
by
bunch of.
cops
I mean,
into setting
well,
fires.
Seattle's full of a bunch of anti-gunners and a bunch of weirdo goofballs anyway. So they probably didn't actually realize that they are not.
Yeah. This photo says it all. They declared a riot in the city after peaceful protesters on Saturday were provoked by cops into setting fires and throwing explosives.
Yeah.
Last time I thought it was an appropriate situation to throw explosives. I think that appropriate situation would kind of be wartime.
Yeah, exactly.
That's generally where we think throwing explosives.
Basically, you got 21 casualties right there.
Yeah.
You know.
This is not a protest, and if you've seen any of the videos from Chicago, some of these people are just going way overboard with this kind of stuff. A construction site in Capitol Hill was torched. Another police precinct was broken into with explosive damage. Another Starbucks was lit up, and numerous storefronts were vandalized. 45 people were arrested. A typical peaceful, tranquil day for the residents of Seattle.
Yeah.
This is getting so far out of hand, it's not funny. The mayor said he doesn't want federal police there. I guess state police went in today.
Supposedly.
But a warning to these guys: you guys are gonna poke a bee's nest, and people are going to show up there and end you.
Yeah, that's about it.
Keep pushing, and keep
they're-
getting more advanced with your weaponry. Start throwing explosives and different things like that.
Yeah, the city council actually told the police that they can't use lethal tools, pepper spray.
Yeah, they can't use.
anything.
They eliminated all their non-lethal tools.
Right.
Yeah.
So the only thing you gave them was a lethal option.
Right.
Well, I'm not even talking about the police. I mean,
Yeah.
the police are in the area seem like they're under chain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, they're being restrained,
Yep.
and there's thousands of these
that's
people running
what we
around.
were talking about last night. What happens next when they've beaten the city council into submission and they've eliminated all the tools for the police to use? What happens next?
Yeah, I don't know where they're going with this.
Right. That's the thing.
I mean, if you've burned everybody's business down, if you've thrown everybody out of town,
Yeah.
what's the end goal here?
Well,
Right.
at some point in time, there just needs to be a supply chain halt.
Yeah.
Right. And that's the thing. They
And
basically wrecked the whole city.
if a bunch of businesses are no longer there or badly damaged or employees are too fearful to come into work, there is going to be a supply chain halt.
Yeah.
Because there's going to be nothing left.
Yeah.
And I don't know whether this kind of stuff is kind of contained in the Capitol Hill zone or what the deal is, but you're
that
right.
all depends upon who you look at.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
A judge who granted a very temporary restraining order against the council's directive late Friday. He determined the situation required further discussion between the city and the Justice Department. There isn't any further discussion. I mean, the ordinance by title suggests a limitation to crowd management.
You have to stop the violence, and then the federal guys will go away. They don't give a shit about that.
No, and I don't know. I mean, they're protecting a federal courthouse. I mean, this isn't about one man or a race or injustice or anything at this particular point in time. It's not. You've tried to start a friggin' revolution in Portland is what you've tried to do.
Yeah, that's exactly.
You just don't have the tools to do it properly.
Well, a lot of them people that are starting it, they're the big pushers for socialism, which doesn't work. Actually, I was reading a thing today on there. It And the first time I called that it was BS was the fact that it said it was a college professor, because they're the worst ones. But he told the group of students, okay, you guys want it? So you guys want this so bad, we're going to do it with your grades.
Oh yeah, I read that.
And everybody has the exact same assignments, so everybody has the same. And at the end of the first quarter, they turned in all their stuff. He averaged it out. Everybody got a B. The kids that worked really hard were kind of mad they got a B. The kids that didn't do anything were like, sweet, I got a B. Mm-hmm. So the next semester, the kids that didn't do anything were like, well, I didn't really do anything, and I got a B. Hell, I'm used to getting C's. If I really don't do anything and I get a C, I'm still doing good.
Yeah.
When the people that normally get A's are like, well, they didn't do nothing, and they got a B.
Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna do less. Too.
Yeah.
So then they got C's, or then they got D's, and then third quarter, same thing. The downward slope. Everybody got F's.
Yeah.
Social experiment over. Yeah. Everybody failed.
Yep. Everyone.
It is. I mean, it is what it is. And Remington's in financial ruin again. They declared bankruptcy despite surging gun demand. Firearm sales are at record highs. I think this is all about defending themselves in court. Hunting, shooting sports, law enforcement, and military sought Chapter 11 protection will try to sell its business at a time when the civil unrest and worries about personal safety have driven firearm sales to record highs. The Chapter 11 petition in U.S. bankruptcy court marks Remington's second restructuring since 2018, when it filed for Chapter 11 and transferred ownership to investors, including Franklin Resource and J.P. Morgan Chase & Co. And here's the funny thing, guys. J.P. Morgan Chase was part of Operation Choke Point, where they restricted firearm manufacturers' access to funds to modernize and expand.
Mm-hmm.
So they lost their own money. They did it to themselves.
Well, possibly could have been on purpose,
right?
Yeah, probably did.
Take control.
They've been searching for potential buyers, as in talks to sell itself out of bankruptcy to the Navajo Nation before negotiations collapsed in recent weeks, leaving the company without a lead bidder or stalking horse in place. You know what? I bid on the damn thing. I give him $1.
Yeah.
The manufacturer's firearms and ammunition business could be sold off separate, according to a person familiar with the matter. They shed $775 million in debt in 2018. The company has struggled with higher interest costs and has faced litigation related to the 2012 Sandy Hook Elementary School massacre, in which the killer used a Bushmaster rifle manufactured by Remington. They put pressure on investors and retailers to reconsider their ties to firearms industry, particularly following the 2018 school shooting in Parkland. I really think the Remington's woes have been repeated litigation.
Yeah.
Really,
millions and millions and millions of dollars in litigation.
Of repeated litigation. And they just have not been able to modernize and bring their stuff into competition with some other manufacturers that are really roaring into the industry.
Yeah.
There is some foreign stuff that's competing in the market. But for the most part, we're not dealing with the ultra cheap Asian third world country labor, China and Vietnam and Cambodia and stuff like that, because those imports are banned in the United States. Mainly it's some European and Turkish stuff that's coming in, putting pressure on them. But, I don't know. I mean,
for the most part, most gun manufacturers globally are here. We're we're one of the few countries in the world where, civilian ownership is absolutely there. There's about the only ones that you look around that have any kind of ownership. It's typically all very limited, and it's actually a lot of the old Russian combat bloc countries. So
Czechoslovakia
another
and over
good
there.
point on socialism. All the countries that were under socialism, under USSR, when it fell, said, no, we're going to let our people have guns so nobody can do this again.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Wised up.
Yeah.
You know what else I heard today, guys, is Alabama, I think it is, or Arkansas. Biachi is building a big manufacturing facility down there.
Yep.
Like, all right.
Yeah,
Ammo availability.
Or something they're putting in this
Whatever,
factory.
I don't know.
That's all.
We'll call them up.
That's what I saw.
Yeah, they got a whole USA division.
Yeah.
My plant running yet? How about now?
Yeah, no kidding. We need it.
And this next one I was flabbergasted. After A&E canceled live PD, they lost nearly half of their viewers.
There you go.
That would tell me that the American public generally supports our law enforcement officers.
Huh, imagine that.
When they do a good job. I mean, we will all call out somebody when they do a bad job at something. I don't think that's an issue. Or if they do something wrong.
Yeah.
Never a problem.
Nope.
But for the most part, we're happy these guys are around. So A&E decided to drop the show Live PD. They lost half of their viewership, as a modern saying goes, get woke, go broke. The numbers don't lie when it comes to the Nielsen ratings. It looks like A&E made a huge mistake. Down in here somewhere, when reviewing the numbers from June 11th to July 19th, A&E managed to only pull 498,000 viewers during their primetime programming period, which is 49% down from the same time last year. When examining their key demographics, which are 18 to 49 and 25 to 54, viewership during primetime hours are down 55 and 53%. Turns out Live PD happened to be the network's most successful show when it came to ratings, pulling in an average of 1.9 million viewers for the episodes that used to air on Friday and Saturday evening. All the successful spin-offs of Live PD, which were Live PD Police Patrol, Live PD Presents, and PD Cam, were also canceled. When calculating the total success of Live PD shows and spin-offs, certain weeks showed that the programs managed to account for 85% of A&E's total viewership.
That's a bunch.
Put the friggin' show back on.
Yeah. Well, I don't think they'll ever recover that.
If I was another network, I'd be making a phone call. Hey, you guys want to start this show?
Yeah.
Yep. Let them die. Let A&E just.
Yeah, let them die.
Call it Cops Live or something. I don't know.
Yeah. Yep.
Here's a great title. Look at this shit show. Let's go to Portland.
Yeah.
If they look into non-primetime hours, the networks have suffered substantial hit in viewership in the weeks following the cancellation of Live PD. Nielsen data shows the average daily viewership is down 36% when compared to 2019. So not only did they lose all their viewers for Live PD, they pissed everybody off and you don't want to watch A&E anyway.
Yeah, well, everybody usually, if they're going to watch one show, they might look on the network and see, there might be something else on there I might want to see.
Right.
And nope.
This guy, Tim Poole, who fancies himself as a liberal, lampooned the decision by A&E to pull the show Live PD after seeing the aftermath of the ratings. Your virtue signal just cost you money. Half of it. How insane are these people, dude? Have you read a poll? People like police. People don't want to defund the police. And yes, there's a large group of people in this country that neither don't care or straight up oppose Black Lives Matter. Poole continued with his critique on A&E. This is during the pandemic when everybody's ratings are skyrocketing. They dropped by half. You deserve it. Yeah. I mean, everybody's stuck home watching Tube.
Yeah.
Like, Here you go. And the best statement of the whole article. I tell you, my friends, the silent majority has spoken. Just like I said with these protesters running around all these bigger cities, destroying people's livelihoods, quit poking the bee's nest, because people, the silent majority, are going to come out of the woodwork that have been setting back, letting you throw your 5-year-old fit and do something about it.
Yeah.
And then what are you going to do about it?
Yeah.
There isn't going to be police to be mad at. It's going to be the rest of the people in this country.
Yeah. And most of the time, it's not going to be the police you're going to have to worry about.
No. One killed and one stabbed in a Hells Angels and Mongols turf war in Northeast Ohio. I thought these guys were pretty much run off to extinction, but apparently not.
No.
It must have been that guy.
In Cleveland. No.
53-year-old man died after a brawl between the Hells Angels and the Mongols. Man was shot to death and another was stabbed at the Shell gas station on Granger and Canal Roads in Valley View. According to Police Chief David Nero, around 7 p.m., two clashed at the pump area of the gas station, which resulted in the death of a 53-year-old John Fuller. According to the Cuyahoga County Medical Examiners, Fuller was treated at Metro Health but did not survive. Early indications suggest this was a turf war between the rival bike clubs. Nero said all of his department's dash cam video and the surveillance from the Shell station was turned over to the Ohio Bureau of Criminal Investigation, who now leads the investigation. Cleveland 19 News has placed a request with BCI for the video, which they won't get.
They won't get you.
BCI officials said they've called in the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms and Explosives. Yeah, that's not going to do a lot of good. And these guys have been warned for how long? At least no innocent bystanders got hit. Right. But, like, whatever. I thought these bike clubs, like, get a job. Know what I mean?
Yep.
Go find something better to do than terrorize people.
Yeah.
Is this not? Everything's upside down. People rioting. Kind of garbage going on. Nobody's having any fun is the problem.
That's about it, too. Nobody's going
Stuck at home. Too much pent-up demand. Product of the week.
If I can get it out of the package.
Can't get out of the package. We're doing bipods.
Springs and plastic don't really get along all
Yeah, that's such a royal pain in the butt.
It's not designed to put it back in the package. There we go.
Did you get it finally?
Yeah.
Here we go. Bipods.
Comes with a rail.
This one has got an adjustment so that you can angle the gun. Thing about it is, I don't believe. Oh, yep, it does work. Okay. A lot of these you will find. You're going to put a bipod on your gun, and it's got one of these things where you can loosen and angle the gun slightly. You get about 15 degrees angle movement. Make sure that this is readjustable, because I've seen the gun's sitting here, and you go to rotate that, and it stops, and you can't actually. You have to take the bipod off to adjust it. So, which doesn't make any sense. But we've been getting these True Glow.
Engineering.
Yeah, engineering. We've been getting these True Glow bipods, and they seem pretty decent. I think we're going to do a review on these here pretty quick. Take one down and shoot a little long range with it. They go right on the sling swivel. They come with a
rail mount.
Rail mount adapter. This one is adjustable side to side, spring loaded. The legs lock for each position, so it's not going to work down. The one I have now has got little thumb wheels on it, and
that one's 9 to 13 inches. This little guy here, he's 6 to 9.
Yep. So that one's about the right. I think that's about the right height. I have to look at my other one. But anyway, the if you're going to do any varmint hunting, long range shooting, anything like that, these are invaluable, and they're not that much money. They range between $20 and $100, and there's a lot of different makes and models out there. Some of them are pretty cheap. Some of them are very well made. Some are kind of like your bang for your buck. This model, your True Glow's pretty good bang for your buck. Like I said, it's got a lot of features in it. What are they about? This one's what, about $30?
Yeah, 30, 35.
So, not
I
too
think that
bad.
one's about 40. This one's about 30, 35.
So they work really well. I don't know if I can get a good picture of that particular one for you. You can see the notches, the locking notches for the adjustments. You can run one leg out, get it on an angle, anything like that. So seen a lot of these at the rimfire sniper shoot we had a couple weeks ago. Had a lot of fun with that. A lot of people asking about these, so there's a bunch of them here. Just choose one that's going to fit your gun. One thing you want to look at is the attachment point. A lot of these go on a sling swivel stud, and
They do come with a rail.
yeah, some of them come with a Picatinny rail adapter. Some of them do not.
There's
And
a rail adapter.
you have to be very aware what adapter you need before you go spend your hard-earned money on those. So if you're looking for something like that, then check one of these out. Like I said, these are True Glow brand, but there's a bunch of other brands out there that you can.
Yeah, Caldwell's make them, and Magpul and all kinds of stuff.
Yep. Yeah, there's a ton of different brands out there.
Yep.
That you can.
Depending on how
check
fat
out.
your wallet is.
Well,
Walker,
it looks like
Warren.
looks like they got set screws in there, so you can, if you want to have it fixed, you can.
Yeah, might be able to do that. Didn't read the directions.
Yeah.
Anyway, so we're getting an eye on hunting season, so everybody's going to be looking for stuff like this. Trait wall rifles, real popular this year, so you want something like that, check it out.
Pretty sweet.
Yeah, they work pretty good. That's what we got for you guys tonight. Questions, comments, concerns, leave them down below. If you're looking for an article we showed you tonight, it is in the description. We always put those up so you guys can go check them out. If you need to get signed up for class, right here's the web address, SphonsCCW.com. Thanks, guys, for joining us and listening to us ramble for an hour. And we will try and see you right back here next week, same time, with some more good stuff. Everybody have a good weekend and stay safe.